Ahoy, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's the BBC Spews Live. It's the 20th of June. Huzzah. Right, let's have a quick gander at the news from the weekend, shall we? Quite a lot happened. I'm sure all of you are well aware because we've got sensible, based, reasonable people watch this show, haven't we? Who's in? Quick hello. Jeff Wedden, Kenny Ainsworth, Scouse Orby, Che Wilson, Winston Smith, Ian Berry, Whiskey Straight Al, now then, Two-Tone, Derek, The Sash, Ralphie Cray, Sid Cannon, Jack McLeod, Ginger Mongoose, John Hunter, Sergio, Censored, Davy Bruce, Evil Druid, Sunflower, Luke Hall, Mark Thompson, Dance, Biker Dance, JVPA, Davy Scott, and Widow Shins, Stevie On, and that's about it, isn't it? Apologies if I missed anyone. Right. First things first. Look at the virulent racism on display from this despicable white supremacist Chinaman. I mean, you know, this is funny to me, right? And it'll be funny to you, people that pay attention to the world, right? Because for several years, since this wokeist nonsense drove the entire world mad, they've been labouring under the delusion. Because, as you know, when you don't make any sense, and everything you say doesn't make sense, you have to constantly disappear down a rabbit hole. So you say something, and it's bollocks. And then the second anybody jabs a finger in that little hole and wiggles it, probing what you've been saying, they quickly realise that you're talking bollocks. So then you have to go shit, and you have to change all of the things that lead down the road from your last stupid statement. And the next thing, it's like telling a lie. You tell a small lie to avoid a problem. And the next thing, somebody else is questioning it, so you have to lie to them as well. And then somebody else questions them, and then you have to lie and lie and lie and lie. And the next thing, it spirals out of control, and you're lying to the world and yourself. And the wokeists are in this problem because fundamentally their ideology doesn't make sense, right? It's all about, it's as I've said, it's rebranded communist, postmodernist gobbledygook, nonsense, waffle. And every time they say something and anybody digs a little bit above, scratches the surface of the thin veneer, the bollocks is laid bare for all the world to see. So the short version is, I will try and keep this brief because I've got a few stories I want to talk about. They said that only white people could be racist, right? Because it's linked to this desire to put everybody under the intersectionality umbrella, right? Which again, as we know, doesn't make sense because they're trying to shoehorn polar opposites under the same umbrella, right? How, since the creation of clamshite, how on earth are you going to get extremely conservative religious people, yes, the ones that go to the churches with the bell ends on top, how are you going to get some of the most conservative religious zealots on planet Earth to be best mates, allies with trans women or married gay couples or anybody else that they say has all the same interests, because they're trying to create a new working class, right? By saying everybody that isn't a cis-het patriarchal white man, everybody else gets together, voila, you've got your new revolution, right? Because every time a working class person, every time a communist would get one of the 99% got either a mortgage or a promotion, or even a car, a nice new car, they're like showing off to the girls and they have to make payments on it. Whenever a working class prole got a mortgage, a promotion, or a fucking decent set of wheels, funny old thing, they all turned into capitalists because the system works. So they realized that they kept getting let down by the masses. So they said, what can we do to change this? Well, we come up with a new mass, and the new mass is the victim pyramid, right? It's, if you're not a cis-het white man, you're one of us. Come and join the revolution, brother or sister. And it turns out it's complete bollocks because people are different. And you get gay conservatives and black conservatives and female conservatives and disabled conservatives and lesbian conservatives. And yes, any religious group can piss them out as well. So it's nonsense. And one of the things they said in the first place, the genesis of all of this shite to create the us versus them dynamic, was that only white people can be racist. It's impossible for anybody else to be racist. Doesn't happen. And then, obviously, I did a video about this a couple of years ago. Colorism. They have to start inventing new words because they go, only white people can be racist. And for a couple of years, that's what you got on Twitter when I wasn't even doing YouTube. I was just arguing with thick twats on the internet. And you'd see some virulent, blatant, overt racism from somebody that wasn't a white man. And you go, whoa, that's a bit racist, isn't it? And some 17-year-olds, freshly conditioned by the fucking ridiculous education system, would go, oh yeah, no, you can't be racist. You can't be racist unless you're a white man. And you'd have to go, what the fuck are you talking about? You know, like slightly older people heard that sentence and were like, that doesn't even make sense on the face of it. What do you mean you can't be racist unless you're a white man? How does that make sense? Shit for brains. And they'd go, oh, well, you know, parroting the exact same lines they're getting from the communist teacher. They'd go, oh, yes, well, you see. And this is when the training kicks in. Actually, it's a complex mixture of power and privilege, plus power, plus privilege. And black people can't be privileged and they don't have any power, so therefore it's impossible. And obviously anybody who's got a fucking 2 brain cells to rub together goes, well, that's total bollocks. The president of the United States was a black man. Has he got no power or privilege? It's like, what? Oh, yeah, well noticed that, Davey. What's with the hooter? That was me. I got this, like, my missus uses this, like, blue exfoliating thing, and it was hanging there in the shower. So I was like, yeah, I'll have a go on that. And I grabbed it, and I was like, thinking, oh, this'll be good for my skin, this. Again, I'm a bootneck. I don't know anything about these type of products. I was like, thinking it'll get all the blackheads off my nose. And then I got out of the shower and I was like, my nose feels a bit sore. Then I looked in the mirror and I was like, fucking hell, it's like I've chiseled the end off it. So unfortunately, I'm going to look like a wino with a bright red nose for 2 days. It's not an alcoholic nose. I haven't had a drink for like, although I was going to say I haven't had a drink for ages. I actually had a drink on Saturday, but I only had a few, like 5 pints or something. I didn't get shit-faced. So yeah, that's what that is. Don't use feminine hygiene products. Is the short version. Got a nose like a builder's elbow. Right. So back to the story at hand. So that's where this comes from. It's vanishing down a rabbit hole where you have to make up more shit to try and make your original shit make sense, and it just keeps going from there. So then, when everybody went, well, that's bollocks, or power. Like, you can't be racist if you haven't got power. Like, if you're a white man and you get on a train in Chicago and you're on your own and there's 20 black men, right, in a big gangbangers, who are all affiliated because they're all wearing like the colours, right? Like the Warriors. If you get on a bus at night by yourself, if I got on a bus and I'm a confident, military man, if I got on a fucking bus in Chicago and I'm the only middle-aged white man on it, and there's 20 black blokes, young, imposing black blokes, who's got the power exactly? You can't say, oh, he's got the power in that situation. It's demonstrably wrong. And they'll try and come up with gobbledygook, knowledgeable sounding explanations, but it's bollocks and everybody knows it. It's like, the power there is with the group. There is no argument you can make that's logical that says I'm the powerful one in that situation. I'm just not. And there's no argument you can make that people like Barack Obama or Oprah Winfrey haven't got any power or privilege. So it's fucking gobbledygook. Right? So this here is proving what they've been saying wrong, isn't it? And it's on the BBC because they know they've got to walk it back because it doesn't make sense. Chinese man held over racist videos. Well, Chinese blokes can't be racist. You told me that, BBC. You spent years telling me that. Luke Key could black up like Justin Trudeau, put a fucking bone through his nose and 6 rings round his neck and limbo dance down the high street making monkey noises. And the BBC a year ago would have said, he's not being racist because racism equals power and privilege. So can we just draw a line under this now, BBC, yeah? When a Chinese bloke is a virulent racist and he makes racist videos, can we agree that he's racist? Yeah, that's just the way it works. Again, I always go off the dictionary definitions. In fact, I'm going to Google it now because I want to know if they've changed the dictionary definition. Let's see if they've added power or privilege to it, shall we? Let's have a quick look. Racist.
Racist.
Learn to pronounce.
Racist.
A prejudice against or antagonistic towards a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group, typically one that is a minority or marginalised. So they've changed it a little bit, haven't they? They've put that last bit of bollocks in. Marginalised, because that's social justice speak. But basically, you can't get away from it, can you? As I always say, just look at a dictionary, because wokists lie. Communists lie. Just read a dictionary. And hopefully they haven't got to the fucking... I mean, I'm assuming they've got to, like, Merriam-Webster, Oxford. They took over everything. But just use a dictionary. Pick one out, a paper one, that in your granddad's house, and read it. And that'll tell you all you need to know. Whenever you hear them twisting the words, because that's what they do. We're living in 1984, and they twist words because they're sneaky, oily, slimy, shit-brained little rats, and they just do that. Just get a book out. You remember when I was saying how they lie and say, oh yeah, Britain's always been a diverse melting pot. Go and get your school photo out. If you're under 30, go get your granddad's school photo out and have a look. See what you think. See what that picture tells you. Well, get the dictionary out. Your granddad will have one in his house somewhere. Pull it out and see what it says. And it'll say that. It'll say prejudiced against or antagonistic towards a people or person on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group. That's it. That's all you need to know. So yes, to draw a line under this story, anyone can be a racist. If you're a black man and you have an irrational, illogical hatred against white people because you've been told a one-sided version of history and you somehow seem to be labouring under the delusion that slavery was invented by fucking George Washington, as opposed to being one of the oldest trades in the entire world. It's as old as human history. Since mankind has walked upright, people have been property. The Romans did it, the Persians did it, the Egyptians did it, the Ottomans did it, everybody did it. It wasn't invented by a white bloke in 1767 or whatever it is they tell them, these fucking woke lunatics. This is why they burn the books. This is why they twist history, because they don't want you to think it's as old as fucking human history. They want you to think it's a new thing and it was invented by a bloke who looked like me. It wasn't. It was probably, humans are short-lived and our memories aren't very long. We don't really know much about the Sumerians or the Assyrians or any of the older histories. You go back 10,000 years, people will have been property. The strong have always dominated the weak. That's just the way of it. So there's no need to have an irrational hatred for any group because we're all the same, aren't we? We all do the same shit. The strong dominate the weak. It's sort of like, it's strange to me when you get like Europeans hating each other as well, don't you? You'll get like the chippy Irish, although I will say it's nowhere near as bad as people that are chippy English seem to think it is. Most Irish people don't have an irrational hatred for the English, but quite a lot do. Let's just call it a significant minority. Same in Scotland, same in Wales. Much less so in England. So the English have got the high ground again there. The English don't raise the children to hate the Welsh or the Irish or the Scottish, but a significant minority of the Scottish, the Welsh and the Irish do it because it's human nature to hate your bigger, stronger neighbours who you perceive as having more stuff than you. But it's the same irrational thing there, isn't it? There's nothing different about the Irish and the English. There's not some sort of like English gene that makes English people just more likely to be evil, right? It's ridiculous. We've been interbreeding for thousands of years. So it doesn't make any sense. And if the Irish swapped geographic location and they are the larger, more populous country with more mineral wealth, and but for a few individuals that made great leaps of technology or great men of history that were great leaders, then the roles would have reversed and the Irish would have twatted the English. And we'd be in the same situation, but except the English would be the ones going, the fucking Irish, they're all bastards, right? It's just human nature. So it's irrational to be a racist arsehole. It is. And I've said that many times. It's why I've got no time for full-blown race-based nationalists. I've got plenty of time for nationalism, and I don't understand why that's a dirty word. As I've said, the CEO of a large corporation should care about their corporation and not worry about what everybody else is doing. Every prime minister and president should be a nationalist. It should be in the job description, but not an ethnic nationalist, because it doesn't make sense. You get black conservatives, you get Asian conservatives. I like them, and I don't like fucking batshit Guardian reading BBC wokeist white arseholes. So it's not about that, is it? So let's just have it done. We've got the dictionary definition up. We've got this story. The BBC's finally gone, oh, you know what? We're talking absolute bollocks. We best walk that back. So cheers easy. Chinese man being racist. Thank you for admitting you've been talking shit for the last 6 years, BBC. All right? Cheers easy. What was the other one I was going to talk about? Oh, yeah, this is funny. Here's Joe. I mean, you know your society's failing when the kids are starving, don't you? We've talked about this for a while. What's that one? Some have good reason to be bigoted. Well, some do. But even that, right? It's a good reason on the face of it, but it's still not a good reason to be genuinely bigoted. It's a good reason to be wary or a little bit prejudiced, but it's not a good reason to be bigoted, is it? My mate Fitzy, he got mugged by a black man, right? This is in Middlesbrough in like 1995 or something, when there was hardly any. Like in 1995, contrary to what the BBC and the Guardian readers say, which is why it's so lunacy. It's such lunacy that they keep trying to rewrite history when it wasn't even that long ago. But my mate Fitzy got mugged by a black bloke in like 1994 or 1995. We were teenagers. Said he was sat on a bench outside McDonald's, and this black bloke sat down next to him, and he was like, all right, Dave. And he was like, who? And he went, where's my money, Dave? And he went, what are you talking about? I don't even know you are. My name's not Dave. And he was like, oh, yeah, where's my money? And he grabbed him, basically mugged him, right? It's logical, following that incident, to be a little bit more wary, because they're more likely, if you're in Middlesbrough and you see a black bloke, he's probably more likely to be, well, a threat because of his gender, and more likely to be a mugger at the time, because he's probably going to be a recent migrant from a very poor country. And people in very poor countries are obviously living by the jungle rules, aren't they? I.e., if you're strong enough to take it, you take it. So it's sensible to be wary, but it's not logical to be bigoted, because that means you genuinely don't like anybody who looks a bit like him. And that doesn't make sense, does it? If it's a black bloke who was born and raised in Harrogate walking down the street, yeah, he's probably a middle-class arsehole, and he's not going to mug you, is he? So again, reasonable, common sense centrism on the Angry Bootneck channel, which is why he's labelled as a member of the Gestapo, because that's the world we're living in. No shit though. See, who was that just saying? Oh no, the chat's funny. There's too many of you in here. It's going a bit fast. Yeah, there we go. Look at that, Mark. When there was hardly any. Seriously, there was hardly any in the 1990s. I'd love to see if anyone can find the official figures. I mean, have we got census information from what? What would it be? When did we last have a census in the UK? 2020? No, it was 06, wasn't it? I don't know. I'm sure there was a census in was it 96? I bet you could find it, but the amount of black people in Britain in the early 90s, early to mid 90s compared to now, there was hardly any. In 1994, it was very, very rare in my hometown where you would see black people. It was started under Blair. There was probably only 5 or 6 places in Britain where you're seeing loads of them. Like, seriously. So if you're mocking me there, Mark, as if I'm being historically inaccurate, I'm telling you, you're older than me, aren't you? Just think about it. Like I said, look at your school photo. The real massive influx of swarthy, poor, badly vetted foreign gentlemen started under Blair. The 90s, early 90s, there was hardly any foreigners. I mean, Britain, Middlesbrough, you got quite a few, but not in. But they're all Asian, not Africans. That was Tony Blair started that. Anyway, talking about Biden here, you know it's gone tits up when there's no baby formula. I mean, like I've said, I told Simon when I was on that stream with him and Sargon, and told Simon Sideways this. I've told him several times, the sort of disagreement I have with him is that you're never going to be able to get the normies on board before things get really, really bad. And a lot of people write of me, say, like, I can't believe this. Why are people standing for it? Well, why are we tolerating all of this crazy, the madness that's going on? Humans are naturally a little bit lazy. Once we find ourselves in a good situation, because obviously our long evolution was dangerous and turbulent, we know when we're onto a good thing. And as I said to him, until people are struggling to feed the children, you're not going to get any sort of real effort by the general public to make changes. And no matter how bad it gets, that's just a truism that's never good. It's not going to change. People, you guys that are listening to me are very politically interested and you pay a lot of attention, but most people don't, because as long as those basic meat needs are met, people aren't going to get that pissed off. And no matter how bad it's got, we've still all got full bellies mostly, haven't we? You might not be able to eat at a nice restaurant as often as you could, but you can still go to Lidl and fill your fucking trolley. As long as people are sheltered, so they've got a roof above their head, and you've got a nice, comfortable bed, you've got hot running water, and you can feed yourself, you're not going to get the type of widespread public action that you're going to the people want to see to fix these problems that we've got. So, a bit harsh, Blue Van Man. McCann's. Middle-class doctors, if they couldn't afford it, who could? We did briefly talk about that on Blue Van Man's podcast, didn't we? He knows what I think about the McCanns. You'll have to watch that if you want me to elucidate further. But Mick Philpott as well, he did a good job getting shot of him, didn't he? Definitely saved the taxpayers some money there, because scum begets scum. Old Potsy did us a favour, didn't he? Potsy dousing the spare bedroom in fucking petrol. Potsy saved the taxpayers a fortune there. It'll cost us 10 grand to redecorate the council house. But, you know, There's five Korea doilies there. What are you talking about? So he's a good lad, Potsy. He's a good lad, really. So this shows how bad it's got in the United States. Shortage of bit, and my point I'm getting at is this is the type of shit that will wind people up. And that's why he's going to get absolutely smashed in the midterms, because it's even got the point where they're worried about feeding the kids. That is the type of thing what motivates direct action. Not being able to feed your children. That's way more motivating to a politically minded person than somebody who fucking, the internet's a bit slow. You know, food shortages is how you get the terror. So we're on the right track, thanks to Biden. I.e., we're on the right track to get some fucking change. Not we're on the right track, thanks to Biden as a country. Obviously, we aren't. So yeah, poor old Lauren needed to get extra milk into her baby. And he wasn't gaining weight and had to be taken to hospital twice. But with the US in the grip of a severe national shortage of infant formula, she couldn't find any to buy. Funny that, innit? The black market. What I want to know is, there's still 34% of the country who think Biden's doing a good job. How delusional do you have to be to think he's doing a good job? I mean, I retweeted something today that really made me think. It was this one here. This is a good one. This is how you poison your country, and he's done it, and he's done all of it. The death of modern capitalism in 3-letter acronyms. Environmental and social governance. Yeah. A really obvious one. As, again, people like me have been saying for years, you do the maths. There is no point in the United Kingdom beggaring itself to try and get climate change under control. It's pointless. And I've been arguing with lefty activists in the chat on occasion. They go, oh, yeah, every little helps. It doesn't. Every little helps. Doesn't. Get your calculator out and show me how every little helps. I mean, have you seen emissions by country? Let's have a look at that, shall we? I'm just riffing now. Let's just, you know, I do that. You guys like it. You don't want me to be all boring and just stay on the BBC all day, do you? Emissions by country. Here we are. Let's have a look at this. We'll get back to Vivek's tweet. I just want to make this point glaringly. CO2 emissions by country. So China knocks out 30% of the entire world's emissions on their own. One country, 30% on their own, right? United States, 14. India, 7. Russia, 4.5. Japan, 3.4. Germany, Canada, Iran, South Korea, Indonesia. Britain's pretty far down here, aren't they? Well, still not 17th, right? 1% of the world's emissions, right? 1% for the United Kingdom. Every little helps. It doesn't, because these numbers are going up. The biggest driver of climate change is people. And the Chinese have just got rid of the one-child policy. Well, they got rid of it a while back. So that 29.18% and that emissions in tons, it's not going to be 10.4 billion, or is that million? Yeah, million. No, 10. Oh, yeah. 10,432,750. No, it's billion, isn't it? It fucking gets complicated when you get past 6 figures. 7, 8. Basically, that number is going to fucking double or triple. As long as the Chinese keep fucking, that number's going up. And the United Kingdom is currently beggaring itself, wrecking our fucking economy and making everybody miserable, poor and fucking miserable. For what? Every little helps. No, it doesn't. We're 17th in the world. We're a drop in the ocean. A drop in 1.3%. It doesn't help. It doesn't. The analogy I used when I made a video about it was, it's like being on the Titanic, trying to bail it out with a fucking teaspoon. If there's a 40-foot hole in the side of the boat and everybody's jumping on the lifeboats, Britain Boris Johnson would be stood there with a teaspoon, flicking water out the fucking porthole. Everything helps. Everything helps. It doesn't, you silly fat albino. It doesn't help. It's pointless. You're making everybody fucking miserable for no logical reason. You silly fat twat. I mean, how bad's that? Again, I don't even get into that because, like I said, from looking at all the evidence, I have mixed feelings about it still. The people labelled as tinfoil hat wearers keep coming up with the goods and being proved right, but there is some evidence that does suggest it's not entirely a con. It must make a difference what we do on the planet. But as I've always said, my position isn't that it doesn't exist at all. My position is that we don't need to worry about it too much because science will fix that problem. It just will. We always figure out ways to fix these problems. If it gets bad, we'll fix it. Technology. That's what humans are good at, coming up with solutions. There's no need for everyone to fucking be miserable. The idea that we should not be allowing people to go on holiday and taxing the balls off working class people so we can shave a few more percentage points off this bastard number when the Chinese are just building coal power plants and fucking each other. It's pointless. It is pointless. We're not even in the top 15 producers, so leave us alone. If Great Britain as a whole banned the automobile, tanked the economy, and we all spent the next 5 years living in caves, eating crickets, it wouldn't make a difference to it wouldn't make a difference to climate change because these numbers are all going up. That's going to go up, China, and that's going to go up, United States, and that's going to go up, India. That's going to fucking fly up when they start getting some more money. So what's the point? It's bollocks. Bollocks. Wokists, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm sick of illiterate, innumerate, wokeist twats saying to me, hey, what are you talking about? Climate change is real, man. I'm not even talking about climate change. I'm just saying do the numbers. Do the maths. Every little doesn't help. It's pointless. Britain doing all this climate bollocks because Boris Johnson's putting his cock in a fucking hippie is pointless. So just stop doing it. Roll it all back. Start fracking. We need energy. We need oil. Start fracking. Start drilling. Make everybody some money. Middlesbrough could be a fracking powerhouse. I was reading that in the Evening Gazette. Middlesbrough's got big shale gas reserves. Everyone in the borough could be rich. Start doing it. Fat and happy. They can all be pissed and own their own houses and have big beer bellies and fucking raise the kids and send them all to university and have a good fucking life. Or trade school. I mean, increasingly, that's a shit idea, isn't it, going to university? So top one, brilliant. ESG, bollocks. DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Ruins everything. We've actively got rid of the meritocracy. Best person doesn't get the job anymore. I'm the best candidate for the job. Oh yeah, but you're a straight white man. Sorry, we need to get a clumsy, incompetent shit for brains in who doesn't look like you. We don't live in a meritocracy anymore. So that's it. Socially responsible investing. How do you do that? This is all linked to the death of the meritocracy, isn't it? The World Economic Forum, taking decisions for the whole globe instead of your own country. Yeah, fucking yourself. That's what we're doing, especially in the UK. Sustainable development goals. Bollocks. Hamstringing business. Every time you want to build a fucking new house, you've got to plant 600 trees, you cunt. What a load of shit. Corporate social responsibility. Pork it up your fucking dirt box. I don't care about corporate social responsibility. I care about the meritocracy. I care about corporations making me things that I like and want to use. I don't care about your social responsibility. If it adds 10 pence to my chicky nugs, fuck off. I want cheap chicken McNuggets. I told you, when I was in Morrison's and I went to buy a chocolate bar, I just grabbed one. You know the ones they put next to the till? I was a bit peckish. So I grabbed one, put it on the thing, and she went, fair trade, that. And I was like, put it back, get me a fucking Kit Kat. I don't care. Not only have I started setting things on fire, every time Boris passes some new legislation to fucking hamstring us and stitch up the working class, I throw another log on the fucking fire. Like I said, that's the protest I want to get started. Every time Boris Johnson passes a new law everyone has a fire. That'd be class. Every time Boris Johnson passes it, if we could get like, I'm obviously never going to have a YouTube channel that's popular because Suza won't show it to anybody. But it would be fantastic if I had like 1 million subscribers, and every time Boris Johnson passed some bollocks legislation to fuck the working classes over and hamstring our economy, it'd be fantastic. We just get 1 million people in the UK to just walk outside and just set a couch on fire on their fucking front garden. I'd love it. Because, I mean, they'd quickly go, oh, yeah, this is actually harming the environment. It'd be mint. Yeah, Dominic, that's what I said you should do. Burn tyres, sacks of hair. If you own a barber shop, just, you know, burnt hair smells fucking horrible. Just get all the hair outside, have a fucking bombing. Burning pubes, tyres, memory foam mattresses, the lot. Just because it's bollocks. You're just stitching up working class people, and it does my head in. So yeah, I hate it. I hate what they've done. It only affects working class people. Wokeist is still going to fly. I mean, you must see that, ladies and gentlemen. You must see it. They want to stop you taking the kids to Spain every year. John Kerry keeps talking about it. Do you know how many flights he's been on his private jet? Prince Harry and me again, monkey ass. How many times have they been on private jets? These rules are for you. Joe Biden can still get on a private jet. Leonardo DiCaprio can still get on a private jet, and the private jets that don't even fly coach. When we get on a plane, at least there's 300 of us on a plastic tube flying to Spain. That's not even that big of a deal because you've got 300 scruffy people on the bastard plane. All these environmental rules are for you, ladies and gentlemen. They're not for the rich. They're not for the leaders. Greta Thunberg is a middle-class arsehole. You're going to be eating crickets, and she's on the train having a picnic. I'll have some more monkey brains. These people don't care. All the rules are for you. Greta's got more air miles than any 20 fucking plumbers. I'll tell you that. 30, 50. It's total nonsense. Did you read about when she said she was going around the world on like a solar-powered yacht? And it turned out that they needed a crew of like 10 to support her because she's a child. And all 10 of them were just flying out and flying back again. It's all nonsense. It's all nonsense. The rules are for you and not for the rich and not for the middle-class arseholes and not for the powerful. So fuck the rules. Fuck the rules. If the game is rigged, the only thing to do is not play the game. Poke the fucking rules. So yeah, every time Boris goes on telly and talks about green initiative, set something on fire. Fuck it. Yeah. Tip your nana out of a wheelchair, set that on fire. If you haven't got any tyres to hand, there's at least 2 there. Burn more coal, yeah. Have another bombing. Teenagers, go and set the woods on fire. We used to always do that when we were, you know, you'd go down there playing with fireworks. Next thing, Cleveland Fire Brigade's being called because half the fucking woods is ablaze. Yeah, and then you leap through a wall of fire. And then you go home with singed eyebrows and no hair. And your dad's like, you smell of smoke. Have you been involved in that fire? No, Dad, no. I've always got no eyebrows. So bollocks. I've had enough. Right, what time is it? All right, I'll do one more. I'll spoil you twats. Is there anything good on here I can talk about? Oh, yeah. One of the things I was going to talk about. Let's put this on. I believe I've lost my BBC story. All right, I'll just have to put this Miss Marvel page up. So there was a story on the BBC. Obviously, they've been covering it because they love it. Miss Marvel. It's this dog shit Marvel superhero thing where obviously they love it because she's a follower nominally. She's nominally a follower of the religion of many pieces. And you know what's funny about it? They're all whinging about it, saying it's getting review bombed, right? And if you put a bit of effort in to go and read the reviews for it, they're all practitioners of the religion of pieces. And this is the point I wanted to make that is, on the face of it, absurd and laughable, right? Just think of this. The people that are telling you that she is an accurate representation of a follower of the religion of pieces, right, are woke, white, middle-class atheists who've never read the book that begins with a Q or a K, if you spell it that way. Again, the Bootneck has to avoid every single term that has anything to do with these people because they're the ruling class now. They're in charge. They've got the whip. They've got the whip hand, haven't they? We all know it's true. If I was walking down the street and a load of blokes tipped out of the local Friday prayers at the local Bell End church, and they went, "Oh, look at that white motherfucker. Let's kick his lily pasty white ass." Obviously, they wouldn't be able to because they're just full of rice and paste and I'd just slap them around willy-nilly. But, I mean, you know, if there was 1,000 of them, they might be able to overpower me, right? And then they beat the piss out of me. No one's getting done for a hate crime. Nobody's getting charged by the police. It'd just be like, nothing to see you, governor, see you later. If a bunch of white lads did the same, they're all getting 10 years in the nick. So we know who's got the whip hand now, right? So I just can't use any of the words. We just have to use clever or not so subtle analogies to beat the system. Yeah, take that system. All the socialists should be behind this. Yeah, we're beating the system. Yeah, like Silicon Valley's not powerful. Yeah, you know, this is again laughable, isn't it? Oh, they've got all the power. What, the homeless, no legs, drug-addled, smackhead white man living in a bus shelter? He's the privileged one. Oprah Winfrey and Barack Obama, they've got no power. Privileged, disabled, no-legged, crackhead, smack rat, homeless white man. Yeah, makes loads of sense. Everything the same makes loads of sense. Anyway, the people talking about this fucking program are not practitioners of said religion. And when you start looking at the comments on any of these big social media pages, what you quickly notice is all the people criticizing the show, well, not all of them, a significant number of them are practitioners of the religion, i.e., they go to pray 5 times a day and they fast during Rama fucking Lamb, right? They fast and they pray and they read the book every day and they have a beard and they eschew pork and they don't drink alcohol and they really, really love Mighty Mighty Mo, the mad mental midget, the epileptic fucking desert nomad. They love him to bits and they pray loads and they read the book and they go to the Bell End church, right? But they, apparently, don't shoot the messenger, apparently they don't know anything about, they don't know anything about the religion. No, the people who go, who actually practice it, they don't know anything about it. The Ayatollah, what does he know? Ayatollah, he knows nothing. Doesn't know what he's talking about. The mullah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. No idea. The Grand Ayatollah, is it still Sistani? It was years ago when I actually took a real interest in it. Who's the Ayatollah now? Let's have a look. Just out of interest. Oh, it's Khomeini now. Yeah, I forgot. Khomeini. Ayatollah Khomeini. He doesn't know anything. This bloke here, he doesn't know anything about his religion. He hasn't got a clue. You know who knows loads about the religion? Owen Jones. Yeah. Owen Jones knows his shit. I was talking about earlier about it's just complete insanity. It's complete insanity. This bloke, the supreme, the Ayatollah himself, he doesn't know what he's talking about. No, Owen Jones does. And that's exactly what's going on with these Captain Marvel reviews. When you read the reviews, loads of them are very devout practitioners of said religion. It's not white racist men. It's very devout practitioners of said religion saying this TV show's total bollocks. It's written by woke middle-class white people who don't know anything about it. And it's insulting and it's offensive. Loads of them. Loads of them. They're like, she's not one of us. She dresses like a hipster from Harrogate. She doesn't pray. She doesn't read the holy book. She doesn't go to the Bell End church. She does what she wants. So what are you talking about? It's not being review bombed by cis-het white man patriarchy. It's being badly reviewed by practitioners of a religion that whichever woke spunk trumpet who is actually making these dog shit shows, it's their parody of what they think a religion is. They don't know what they're talking about. Me, call me a bluff old traditionalist. Bootneck likes logic and facts and reason. And if I'm going to take advice about a religion and what they really think and how they think the women act who also practice the religion, I'll get my advice from the mullahs and the ayatollahs and the regulars at the Bell End Church and the people that read the Q book a lot, right? So it's just shit. It's not getting review bombed by pasty people that look like me. It's getting review bombed by men in Pakistan and Indonesia and Iran who go, "What's this woke shit?" because they know what they're talking about, and white woke middle class women in fucking Canada have no idea. That's called logic, ladies and gentlemen. Suck on it. All right? Nearly an hour. You can have that for free, you twats. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Yeah, it's only Monday. Oh, no. It's Monday. Nobody likes Monday. All right, when we get in a Blitz Bootneck stream, we'll do that one of these days. I'm not drinking for a few weeks now, though. I promised my missus I'd be good. And I plan to get a bit tight. I told you, I've never understood this about these Americans who have like moo-moos and just get fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter until they're like 800 pounds and they need winching out the house by the fire department. Me, I allow my genes to do the talking. It's like as soon as it's a tight squeeze, I'm back on the wagon. So it's like yo-yo dieting for the whole of my life. But I'm too tight to buy 40 pairs of clothes. And the next thing I'm on Jerry Springer going, "I don't want to die, Jerry." Just let your ass do the talking. Just be too tight to buy a new wardrobe. You won't go too far wrong. Anyway, all right. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Cheers, casual observer. I don't think you can really call it a show. That would suggest there's a script or production values of some kind. But cheers anyway. Cheers. Right. See you all tomorrow. Good night. Toodle pip.